Hey guys, it's Rachel from The Living Lamb, and today I have my February wrap up. So in February I managed to read 6 books, so that means I believe I'm at 15 books of my Goodreads challenge. I just have to confer on that later. But anyway, the first book I read this month was The Story of Babar by John de Brunhoff. And this is like a children's book, so it's a really easy read, but I'm slowly collecting the Babar books because that show was one of my favorites when I was a child. And recently, I looked at the Goodreads stuff and there's a lot of controversy over the lessons and the colonialism aspects of Babar, but I'm not I know the things that are pointed out that are wrong, but I'm not analyzing as that. I'm just thinking more nostalgic reasons. It's not a perfect story, but I really just like the character of Babar. The next book I read was Ranger Games by Ben Blum. And this book took me quite a while to get through, but it was a really good read. I actually just posted a review this past Sunday of this book, so I will definitely link that in the down bar for you to check out in case you're interested. So I'm not really going to go into the description of that too much. The books I review, I'm just going to glaze over. The other ones I might give my opinion if I'm not actually putting up a video review. So the next book I read was White Oleander by Janet Fitch. And I read this book this month and I watched the film. And I really loved both. I'm actually putting a review up of this very soon, so I believe in the next 2 weeks that should be up. Then I read My Dad Wrote a Porno by Jamie Morton, James Cooper, Alice Levine, and Rocky Flintstone. And if you don't know what this is, basically there's a podcast called My Dad Wrote a Porno. It's one of my favorite podcasts. And I saw it in a favorites video, and the title sounds very jarring and something that's really disgusting and gross, but it's hilarious. Basically the father's porno is really hilarious and not realistic and not even anatomically correct, and it's just hilarious. And basically the son and his 2 friends come together and read the chapters, each one chapter per podcast, and they just laugh and make fun of it, and it's kind of funny. Well, not kind of funny, it's very funny, and I want to read the book and support the podcast. And basically this book's all annotated of the first book. So this is the first season of the podcast. Definitely recommend that podcast if you want something that will literally make you laugh so hard you cry. I usually laugh when I cry though, but I feel like I do that generally to people. The next book I read was Hunger by Roxane Gay, and I'm not going to be doing a separate review of this one because it is a memoir, and if you've watched my channel for a while, you know I don't really like to review memoirs because I don't want to feel like I'm judging someone's life and analyzing it. But I did really enjoy Hunger. It's my first Roxane Gay book, and it definitely won't be my last. I definitely want to check out more of her works. I just really like how genuine she is. I really loved this portrayal. I love genuine accounts and genuine memoirs where it's not all glazed over and glossy. She really gets into some hard topics to talk about, and I just really loved her relation, her and talking about the topic of food, because it's very personal for everyone, and just hearing someone else's perspective of food was very interesting for me. Because, I just find it interesting because, I'm lactose intolerant, so when I eat in public, it's scary. My relation with food is, fear when I'm eating outside my home just not to get sick, but it's a very different relation than what she has with food. So it's very interesting hearing everybody's relation in terms of food, because some people don't have a problem with it, but other people have, little things that scare them, or that they have a different relationship with food than others. There's no normal relationship with it, and I find it very interesting. And I thought it was really well written, and it was a really nice, it was nice to read because the writing was really good, but it was a really hard topic as well. The next book I read was The Princess Diarist by Carrie Fisher, and this month I'm now up to Rogue One. When I'm filming this, I'm going to be watching Rogue One in a few days. I've not seen The Last Jedi either, but I've been watching the Star Wars films, and I've seen enough that I've seen the ones the first 3, which this one basically talks about Carrie Fisher's time on the set of A New Hope, and which is the fourth Star Wars film, but it was the first one filmed. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. It was not my favorite memoir. I've never read a Carrie Fisher book before, so I don't know if stylistically it's different, but it had some really fast parts and fascinating parts, and then it was kind of slower, but it was also her looking back at her diary, so it wasn't written to be entertaining, and I don't know which parts were her just talking about her diary or direct quotes. That was the only part where I was kind of confused with that, but for the most part I really enjoyed the insight that it gave me about the behind the scenes of the first Star Wars film filmed. And yes, that's my wrap up for February. I definitely want to know what you guys were reading, so definitely comment that below, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.